Welcome in everyone to the Challenge Aftershow tonight. Pamela and I are talking about the Challenge Season 41, Vets and New Threats, Episode 20, Reunion, Part 1. Pamela,
Okay.
we were wondering, would they make it two parts? Of course they would. Why not extend the season another whole month with all these reunions? Why not? But yeah, we're getting two-parter. That's what we're used to. So it was to be expected. Did you
Yeah,
enjoy it, Pamela?
I
How'd you
did.
feel? All right, good.
Okay. So my overall thoughts are, wow, everyone looked great. Really, everyone looked fantastic except Jake. He's the only one, Jake and his stupid hair, who didn't look
Well,
fantastic. He had like,
sitting all the way in the corner by himself. He
he's
got called.
not Will, and
Yeah,
now
yeah.
he
He
doesn't
got
look
called
like
out
Will.
one time by sorry, I'm moving in my chair. He got called out one time by Sydney, who said he was dumb. And he's like, "Well, I guess yeah, I am. I am dumb."
He played it off in a really funny way. At first, he went, "What?" And that was funny. But then he was like, "Wow, I'm dumb." And I was like, "Oh, I feel bad for him." He was golden retriever is like his storyline. He had a dog at home, and
Look, I'm not one to talk about someone's hairline because mine is not great, but his hairline, it's very interesting hairline, right? It's like almost growing downward. It's very interesting, a
it's
hairline.
it's
Very.
super strange. It looks like if the Beatles, like the like a bowl haircut, you brush it, you like combed it all back. It's a
It's crazy.
strange,
Very thick hair. I don't know. A lot of
strange.
it. A
A
lot of it
lot
on
of
there.
it, and he was really, really tan. Like he looked. Again, it doesn't. No, Jake it does not need to be, but everyone. He's the only one. I thought everyone looked beautiful, especially the women. Everyone looked great. That was nice to see. In the beginning of it, I was like, "Shut up, bananas," and I was like, "This can be one part." And then as they got into the things we care about, I did think it shaped up. And my final overall thought is that Devin did a fantastic job.
hmm
Good
It
job.
Pamela, you're right. It started off kind of slow. I was like, this is a recap of what we've already seen. I guess some people like that since the season was so long. Maybe they forgot half these things that happened. A lot of it was very recappy at first. A lot of it they weren't really saying a lot in response to like, so how did you feel about this? And they didn't really say much. But then it did pick up towards the end, and I actually have a lot of things towards the end that I really want to talk about. The beginning, we can kind of maybe go faster through these, but it depends. If you have something to say about it, let's say it, but not so much at the beginning. So yeah, Devin Simone, like you mentioned, she is the host. Haven't seen her hosting this because it's been Maria, our former boss, for
Usually,
such a long
Maria.
time. Um,
Yeah. Devin has hosted some reunions, I think, or some like as something, but
he did
not.
the okay. So you remember after the show would air on TV, they'd immediately go to the after show, and Devin was hosting those
That.
things. Yeah, I remember that for years she did that, and then they don't do that anymore. Like they would have like the guests on or someone that did something
Mhm.
big on the that particular episode. They'd have them on there, and they play silly. It wasn't a great show. They played like kind of dumb
No.
games. And it wasn't fun. And they could, the problem with, like I always say this, the problem with interviewing people on the challenge most
Mhm.
of the time is this is their paycheck. So what goods are they really going to give you? It's like when you interview a sports athlete, right? They're not going to talk smack about their opponent or really
Right.
give you the good juice because first of all, they don't want to get fined. Second of all, they don't want to entice the opponent to play better. And third of all, they're getting paid a lot of money to keep their mouth shut and just say everything's great. We loved it being here, and then they
And
move
we
on with their lives.
know from firsthand experience that when you talk out of school, you get scolded by MTV. And that was when it was less buttoned down than it is now.
Oh yeah, much
So
more
they
buttoned down
used
now.
to, yeah, it used to be the Wild West, and now it's like
And the
talking push.
money's so much bigger
This,
now too. There's more money for these competitors. They want who wants to have a real job anymore? No one does. Being on the
nobody.
challenge, is
Not,
that a real
I don't
job?
want to.
Right. It's
Yeah.
great to have that kind of be your only job. That'd be amazing.
And not And now everybody, literally everybody, it used to be that Derek had the challenge mate, they had their show.
Hmm.
Now everybody has a podcast.
Sure.
So what is original content? What's new? What are you doing to keep it interesting? And remind me, let's circle back to the end to tell you funny gossip you probably have seen, but that I saw last night in the world of podcasts.
Oh
Teaser.
wow. Oh, I
Yeah.
can't wait now. Yeah.
But yeah, we know what everybody thinks. We know that Olivia's pregnant. We didn't need the reunion to figure that out. Every form of media is telling us all the button issues all the time. So it's
Right.
hard to make it interesting and hitting on all those that you have to hit on because it's your job. But giving a hot take is going to be hard. I think they got to on this. I think Devin, who has been in the challenge and knows everybody, was in a great position to do this, and she did a good job.
Yes, two-time finalist, Devin.
Two-time
Don't
finalist,
sleep
Devin.
on that. Two-time finalist. Amazing.
Yes.
Good for you, Devin. Way to
Yeah.
make it there twice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it starts off. I noticed this. How about this? No live audience. Haven't seen that in a while. Wasn't that weird? Because usually they would cut to the audience, or like at one point I thought, did I hear like fake laughter in there that they're putting in? There was definitely no audience. They would have shown it. There would have been more oohs and ahs and whatnots. They did this just in a studio somewhere in
In
Europe, right?
Amsterdam. In
So maybe
Amsterdam. So
that's the maybe it's that is there not as big of a challenge following in Amsterdam? Probably not. So maybe that's why they do live audience. I kind of missed it. I like the live audience. I like how ridiculous it is. I like when they invite maybe a friend. They do it for Love is Blind now. They'll have like
uh,
old cast members out there. They'll have like their current partners out there. It's fun to get their plus you're like, who is that? Why are they important? And it's
uh-huh.
fun to like make fun of it with whoever. Like when Stacy and I watch things together, we love commenting on reunions when it's like when they have the live audience.
Oddly, I would think that I would agree with you, but I think I really liked not having it. It's like boom, boom. We don't need
Okay,
and I think I liked that it was kept moving because Devin was very good at keeping it moving. I think when there's a live audience and they're responding to things that someone says or does, you don't want to cut that off. Like if the
sure.
audience is clapping or
But I
laughing
mean,
or
Pamela, this thing has been so edited down, it's ridiculous. Like they're doing this is 2 hour-and-a-half segments that they probably taped for like 5 or 6 hours. They've already edited down to three. They could probably have edited this down to just a 2 hour reunion. They could have showed it all to us last night. They could have cut out a lot of the banana stuff, and we'll get into how I didn't really, it wasn't that great. But let's start from the beginning. Olivia and Theo, they announced they're having a boy. Again, social media told us this 6 months ago that she ran the final this way. Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, can we do we what else is there to say about it? I don't know,
Mhm.
nothing really. Congratulations. There you go.
They were really, I've got some things to say. I liked Olivia a ton during this, and I
Well,
think I
that's
always
different though. I thought she was amazing this
I
whole
did. I
thing.
thought she
Yeah,
held her own, um, and and she seems at peace. Where it's working for her. Love Theo, love Olivia, fan of
here's
them.
a teaser for you, Pam. There's other people, or maybe a person, was upset that the champion of the season was getting asked the most questions. The gall of the host to ask the person that won the whole season the most questions. Maybe if you won the season, they'd ask you more questions. And
Yes,
we'll get into who that is in a little bit, but it's
yes,
just ridiculous to me.
yeah. Also, because to defend that, it was sort of Theo and Olivia versus almost all of the other people. So when they want that side of the take, I guess they're going to ask Olivia and Theo as
Who else
opposed
was
to
there? Yeah,
Adrienne, who I guess was by default on team.
sure.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, that was. I have to stick up for Michaela here. I think that when she spoke, remember when we're like, is she smart? Is she dumb? I don't agree with everything she said in this, like that, case in point. And she definitely has a bee in her bonnet about Theo and Olivia. There's
She
no,
does.
it's not
That's
just
a fun term that I
me.
haven't heard in years. She definitely has a bee in her bonnet.
She
It's
does.
ridiculous because, like, let's say it's reversed. Let's say Michaela won and Olivia got third place. There's no way Olivia is saying those side comments. There's no way she's attacking Michaela in the way that Michaela was just like bad mouthing her and side commenting her and all that stuff.
Yes.
Olivia's not doing that. So, like, to me,
No,
it's like there's something going on with Michaela. She has it out for Olivia, where
she
Olivia I don't
does.
think would care to engage with
Well,
her in that way that Michaela did with her.
I think to your point, exactly, you are correct. And she didn't. My sticking up for Michaela, a lot of what she said tonight, I agreed with and thought was very well said. Whereas when I'm like, she's just speaking out of her ass, I thought she was very well spoken and I agreed with a lot of what she had to say. In terms of her feelings about Olivia and Theo. Olivia was like, listen, we play the game differently. I did think Olivia acted the way a person that doesn't have anything personally against someone would respond to
Exactly.
these criticisms. And Michaela saying things like, another question for Olivia is, it's like, what?
I
What?
mean, that's obviously the line everyone's
Like,
going to be talking about because they kept it in there for a reason, because they wanted to show her frustration. At the
yeah,
same time, like I said earlier, she
they
won
win.
and
Yeah.
she was on a very small alliance, Michaela, where you worked with the house the entire time. They've got 12 people that they can ask for that question. But sorry that they have to go to Olivia, who had to run the house on her side because everyone was against her and Theo the whole season. What do you
Yeah.
want them to do? And so that bothered me for sure,
Yeah.
obviously. I mean,
And I liked Devin's leadership ability because in the beginning, again, bananas, are you the challenge, whatever. I felt like, shut it, bananas. You weren't a big part of the season.
you weren't.
You know how I feel about Cara Maria. I didn't even remember she was there when they flashed back to her. Same for bananas. It was not about bananas. So when he was jumping in and saying, I think he meant this, and I think he meant this, I thought Devin did a very nice diplomatic job of being like, okay, and then directing questions.
Remember, Pamela, Bananas is the challenge. He can just jump in on a topic that he wasn't even there for, and he must have so much knowledge on this particular thing. Look, let's get into that next because it's really the next. Well, let's say this: Sydney and Turbo, they do give their flowers to the champ. They admit it again out loud.
Yes.
They deserve to win. We couldn't get up that mountain, and they said it during the show, and they're saying it at the reunion again. So props to that. Yeah.
Sorry, my hand raise was TJ, who didn't have to hike up there. We
Yep.
found that out. So that was a big question is like, why the hell wasn't TJ up
Well, there
there?
was stuff on the whole week after exciting. I like it kind of slipped my mind. They're like, did you even win the challenge if TJ wasn't there
Right.
at the end? But like that's the point, right? That's how dangerous or how they couldn't get him up there.
Right. Like he couldn't be up there, let alone hike up there for 48 hours.
Right.
So that was a big, like, oh, like it's that intense that even if they're dropping you in a helicopter, being up there is
Just like they didn't want TJ waiting hours and hours and hours up there if they couldn't even get him
right.
up there for someone to come and finish this thing so they could celebrate. So
I mean, he couldn't have called on his sidekick.
that'd have been cool if they had a little phone screen there with TJ like, "Hey, you made it, congrats!" And like him sitting by a fire because they could do a comedic bit with this. He's sitting by a fire, he's drinking some hot cocoa. He's like, "Oh, is it cold up there, guys? Because I got, come on over, I got
Oh,
hot cocoa."
hello. Right. Like glasses and a book on his lap
Yes,
next to the
yes.
roaring
He's got
fire.
a robe. He's got like a Hugh Hefner robe
Oh,
on. Yeah,
hi there. Looks like you just won the challenge.
that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy
Um.
though that it's that intense that he couldn't even be there to
Right.
say he won and
Yeah.
go. So
Um.
that's a good reveal for me.
And then this is why I also thought it got off to a slow start. They did bring up the rope talk, so I was like, okay, good. Maybe Theo will admit this great thing, and we'll get some fun drama. Nothing, Burger, nothing. It stunk. And then it moves on to the new threat talk. This is another thing. Oh, let's say how great the new threats are. Yeah, we already knew this. They're younger. They're in it to win it. They've never done this before. They want to prove themselves. No crap, they're going to be better than these old guys in their 40s. It just is what it
Yeah.
is. So then again, that was me. I didn't care. I was like, okay, great. They
Casting
are great.
wise, I have to say, yes, they were all great competitors. They're
Right.
younger, more able physically. Casting wise, though, we have seen casting failures of new people. This really was
Much better.
a great choice. I do to the new threats. They were they did a great job. They showed up to play and they were entertaining and fun. I forgot about our boy Ben, art that we love. I wish he was there, but
Yeah.
again,
Well,
he's
and we'll
gone.
get into this at the end. I mean, maybe in part two they'll be shown more, but there's definitely a handful of people that did not need to be at the reunion. My big joke that I was going to make tonight, and I guess I'll make it now, and maybe she'll be featured in part two, so everyone chill out. But let's say, during the season, it was all about justice for Lekka, right? Well, there should have been justice for Lekka tonight on the show. She was not asked one question at all. Like, she was barely
Even
even
when they
shown.
covered CT, did you throw it? It was a him and Turbo talking. There was no Letka. They didn't ask her. You're right.
Like,
That's the whole justice for Letka. Letka didn't get to speak up on.
again, we need double justice now for during the reunion.
Yeah,
Now, unless they bring it back up in part two, which of course then great, she was shown. They haven't talked with her at all. Like, what are we doing? That was a whole episode that they talked about for that. And
yeah,
then they could have also brought it up when Michaela kind of threw the challenge on CT, the daily challenge, where she was purposely throwing it. They haven't talked about that yet. I hope we get into that in part two. Because that was kind of
yeah.
I want to hear Michaela defend that or how or just see what she if she admits that she did what she did, and
I mean,
obviously,
I'm sure she's going to admit it.
well, she has to admit it because they literally in the
Yeah.
confessional they talked about it.
Well, she did address it briefly tonight, which I liked. She was like, that was a reaction, not, which I did like. Like some things are cause and effect. It's like, no, that was a response to, I didn't just throw it for shits
Yeah,
and
but I want to
giggles.
hear more like her and CT kind of talk about that, but they didn't. They just kind of went, maybe they did talk about it and they just cut it and they moved to the next topic. But I want to
Yeah.
hear more about that because, yeah, but then we can get to, there's other people besides Lekka that were just
But
sitting there doing
Izzy,
nothing.
well, the
Yeah.
Izzy bananas joke fell flat to me because I'm like, what? Like, who's the
Well,
most,
that's the next thing.
who
So
doesn't? Oh, okay.
it,
Sorry. Go ahead.
this is great. This is part you nailed it, right? Bananas has to do, well, it's the I am the challenge thing with bananas is first. But again, I don't care.
It's
Like,
just horny at
Let,
this
let's let's say this.
moment.
Let's say this.
It's horny.
Bananas, if you had to put bananas in like influential person for the challenge, top three, sure. But to say that it is the challenge, well, look, you can't deny that CT has something to do with it. You can't deny that Akara Maria has something to do with. She came in as like fresh
It's
meat and she
a
was awful that first season. She was, bullied, whatever you want to call it. And look where she's come on the show. There's so many great stories besides the banana story. So to just focus on
yes.
him makes zero sense to me. But yeah,
Oh, I agree with you 100%. And I would like to quote Bananas to Bananas, as he said to Jordan when Jordan
another
threw the
person that
text
should be
in.
considered as one of the top
Right,
guys.
there's the Rushmore. We all know who they are. We know
Yeah,
all know Banana is certainly one of them. No one's trying to take that away from him. As Banana said to Jordan during the reunion after that season, whatever it was, he said,
I can't wait.
confidence is quiet and arrogance is loud.
Well, look what he's doing to
And
himself.
and Bananas is being arrogant. It's not particularly, I get it's his shtick. It's just tired. It's not particularly entertaining. I don't have anything. It's like
Yep,
we
and
all
that's why
feel
we
the
can move
same way.
past it. That's
Let's
why we
move
can move
on.
past it. All right, so then they do the hangnail fan question. They give Banana some more screen time here because he's got to do something. He's got no other storylines to talk about. Who's the least deserving of being asked back onto the challenge? He says Izzy. I mean, I think he did. They mean out of the people in the room there, right? Like in the people in the room, they had to pick somebody. I don't even really know what he meant. But I mean, she's not. I mean, she didn't really do anything, so that's. I guess that's fine. But like, um,
Did not though, of all the people in the season that made it, that far, there must be some sort of cutoff where they stop bringing people on.
I mean, look, I think if
Made it
Bananas
at
got,
least
I think if
halfway. We all liked her. Like we were all team CT and Izzy. I mean, of all
well,
the people
no,
that
CT
fell
was with
flat.
CT was with Taylor though. What do you mean, Izzy? CT and Izzy.
Oh, I always confuse them.
I know you
Well,
do.
what
So
about your
Taylor's
girl
did. No, I
D
think
was
Taylor
a
should
big
definitely come
flop?
back.
What
Huh?
about Bananas? What about D? Not that she doesn't deserve to be. Forget it.
Who?
Now I'm
What
just
about
mad.
what do you mean? Who's?
Izzy
I was thinking more of yeah, D. Well, D was okay. I was thinking more of like America. Like I don't need to see America again. Maybe that's
or
a better choice.
Blue. At least America made out with a bunch of
Blue.
people. Like
Oh,
literally,
Blue. No, Blue's a good one. Yeah, Blue had
yeah,
Blue.
pussycat. Like,
Yeah,
no.
Blue didn't do much. Well, yeah, but Stacey, I just called you Stacey. Pamela, uh, 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 America made out with everybody, but they never showed it though. This is all just we just talk
Right.
about it. Like she
At
didn't
least
actually
it's
do anything on the
feeding
show that was interesting.
Bananas conversational. I mean, whatever. Izzy just seemed like such a weird choice, and I loved her handling it. I love when
But
someone.
I mean, I'm not going to deny that I think that's in the
I
conversation.
thought
That's
she was Taylor, so is that her Tay? So
yeah.
obviously, it didn't make a huge impression on
There you go.
me.
You're mixing them up, so that's
For the
probably not
long
good.
season, brown ponytails, I just confused them. But yes, I'm not saying she was great, but I thought it was just strange because she certainly wasn't bad. And I liked her response was like, that's a little hurtful to hear and like weird. I thought she had a
Well,
cool response.
look, no matter the question was meant to be hurtful. Though I mean, producers put that question. No one's going to like the answer to that question if you're chosen. Same with the one
Right.
that comes up later when who's the fakest person, and Derek gets the Cedric says Derek, which again, it's like it is what it is. But like, no, these answers were meant to make someone upset and
Sure.
to
Right.
try to
There.
cause drama. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. Let's move on to partner problems. That was the next chunk. Now
Okay.
this, I'm not the biggest John A fan. I'm just
Yes.
not. But the way, because we'll talk about it, was Gabe and John A was one of the couples, one of the partnerships that they talk about here. She bailed this guy out. She did not have to react this way. She could have thrown him under the bus more because he did deserve it from the way he treated her this season. 100% props to John A for letting bygones be bygones, letting him off the hook, and letting everybody not jump on him even more because of the way that he treated her and the way that he treated apparently a lot of the other females in this house. And we briefly saw some of them, him with Naya briefly, and some of his other partners throughout the season. She
Lecca,
let him
Naya,
off the hook.
Aviv, and Michaela were his
And
partners.
Michaela,
They
but my
gave the
point is though,
shade to
she let
all
him
of
off the
them.
hook, and so props to her for being the bigger person here. So great job, John A, because you didn't have to do that. You
He
didn't
did a
have to.
nice job. Devin also was like, it takes a big person to admit that. And he seemed genuinely remorseful. And
Oh,
I'm
he
sure he's
did.
a nice guy in real life. So I don't, he wasn't the best. I think he's been punished enough publicly. And listen, I don't know him. So he could
Right.
be a good guy. But if John A can forgive him and he does seem to be taking accountability
Yes, yes.
for being a shithead, so what are you going to do? We'll allow him to grow. Just don't do it
Right.
again. We'll see if he comes back. I wouldn't mind him coming back though.
Oh no, I definitely want to see him
Yeah,
again. Because
I
I,
wouldn't
like
be
I
terrible with
like a
that.
good redemption story. You know this.
Mhm.
The next one's great. I talked to you about this midway through the season. Turbo and Sydney. I said she didn't want to come back on the show again. I'm like, something's going on with her and Turbo. He's being controlling. You were telling me like you didn't see it as well. I'm like, I'm telling you, there's something else going on here. And we can break them all down. She says during the reunion that she was not allowed to call her boyfriend. She did it behind his back, obviously. Number two, he got mad at her for making tea for another man, Jeremy. Like, Turbo, this is not your girlfriend, your wife,
Not
whatever.
your
And even if
mail
they
order
did,
bride. Yeah.
this is not your mail order bride. Like, what are we doing here? Like, with the jealousy factor of a partner, and I get that and Bananas made a good point for Turbo. He said, "Look, Turbo, I get it. You just want to put your head down and focus on one thing, and you want your partner to do the same. But not everyone's built that way. And at the end of the day,
Oh,
this is a game. It's a reality show. I get there's a lot of money on the line, but you're not letting her. You don't want her to call her boyfriend when that is something that a
so
comforting thing that might help her relax and then there was one more thing that he did. Oh, he got mad when she said hi to Theo. Just hi to Theo. Come on.
yeah.
I called this out earlier. I
To
called
play
this.
devil's advocate,
Please do.
I'd like to state for the record first that in no way am I defending any of that from Turbo's end. I think there is a huge, I don't know whether to call it cultural difference or translation gap that we hear this and it's like, what?
I know. I
It
get what you're
sounds
saying.
absurd and insane and crazy and like she's like, a geisha in the like, yeah. But I think what Banana said was Turbo's not, he's calling Derek fake, as we'll come to later, because Derek was nice to him, but then would vote for him. It's like, because
Sure.
I don't hate you. I'm not gonna, just because I'm nice to you as a person doesn't mean that I'm fake. And I do agree with that Turbo is, you know, eye on the dot, and that is how he is,
Yep.
and he'll be mean to you at dinner because he wants to vote you in, and that's Turbo's way. And he did explain in his own turbo-ness
Yes.
that he was saying she'd talk to her boyfriend and get upset and want to
Right.
go home, and it would send her into a tailspin. So he said, I don't want you to talk to your boyfriend. I don't think he meant, and again,
Right.
no
So, but
matter what
Pamela,
he thinks,
here's the
but
thing though, Pam, and I agree with you. There is some type of language barrier going on there. But if the person on the other side, Sydney in this case, literally thinks that she's not allowed to talk to her boyfriend because Turbo told her no, that's where the problem lies. Even though Turbo may have not meant it in that way, like, hey, look, we need to focus on the game right now. Every time we talk with him, you get upset. And it's affecting how we perform. And we're trying to play for a lot of money that could help us out for like the rest of our lives, or at least
and
for the next 10 years.
I'm
So,
defending both of them here
right.
because I completely understand Sydney being like, I'm going to do what is best for both of us, which often falls on the woman to do, and it shouldn't, but it does. It's like, I'm going to accommodate you because it will make my life better. So I get that. My second, and two things can be true. I do think that, and I respect her for that. I also think, Sydney, you are not a shrinking violet. Turbo is not the boss of you, and you are well aware of that. You are an adult ass attorney who doesn't mind telling people where to shove it. So I
Right.
couldn't call my
That's
boyfriend
the
because
other side.
Turbo's, there is the partnership and you want to respect them, but it's like respectfully, Turbo, fuck off. I can call my boyfriend whenever I want. I can make tea for whoever I want. And I think he would have understood that. I do think there was enough mutual respect. So I think it just wasn't worth it. I am on side Sydney in that that is ridiculous and controlling and cuckoo and toxic, as she said. And I don't want to, blame her for his treatment of her. I just feel, and I'm saying I don't want to blame her, and then I just feel like, yes, we have to acknowledge in the cuckoo-ness of that that it's not appropriate, but I don't think Turbo was trying to put her in a bottle like a genie. I don't think that was
He's
his
he's
outward intention.
he's an interesting guy. Multiple people have come out on the different after shows that I listen to and the podcasts or whatever you want to call them, saying they just don't like Turbo. Bananas said it. Zach said it. Because he Bananas and Leroy were just on Zach's podcast and they were talking about it. Um, his honor, all his honor BS and all that stuff.
It's a
Um,
lot. I like him on TV. I probably wouldn't want to live in a house with him. It's
no,
like, it's a lot. It's a lot. And again, I don't, I feel like Bananas is too. Like, you don't like his shtick, Turbo shtick. I don't like Bananas shtick either. I think
yes,
Turbo's
but I
more
do
amusing.
think if you're living in a house with Turbo in real life, I think that's a lot more than living in a house with Bananas. So they're both next level, but I'm pretty sure Bananas is just like a cocky guy in real life. I don't think he's like controlling or whatever you want to call it, just like
Right.
intense all the time. I'm pretty sure he's just a dude, but he got on a reality show and he's a great performer, man. It
Right.
is what it is. So
And Bananas, I have to sorry. I'm just like, I don't want to give him more attention, but I love that he's like, no one has made the sacrifices I've made for this
oh, he's so
show.
dramatic.
Family, it's like, oh,
So here's the thing.
Bananas,
Here's the thing.
sister.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing, Johnny. Yeah, you don't have any kids. You don't have a wife.
What
You,
made you?
during this time, though, Johnny, during your time on the challenge, you were in long term after relationship after long term after long term. If you wanted to be with that person, they were more than happy to
Of
take that next step with you. That was a you choice. And it wasn't because of the challenge.
course,
It was because you got bored and wanted to hook up with other girls. And there's nothing wrong with that. But don't say
not
that
at
that was this
all.
big sacrifice. Like,
No,
because
but
of the
acting
challenge,
like, right, like I
I
defended
never,
this country, right?
I
Like I
never
was
got married.
drafted 41 times with my life on the line. Like, you're allowed to take a season off. No,
Right. The
what's
challenge wouldn't allow
missing?
me to get married. I had no time for it. I couldn't have kids because of it.
Exactly.
Calm
Like,
down,
oh,
Johnny.
please. Yeah. It's just,
All right, moving forward here. Um, we go down into again the next big thing is
oh,
they
Will
start.
and Olivia. Yeah.
Yeah, go on. You bring it up. You got it. That's it.
Oh, no, I was just looking at, I'm literally reading my notes. So Will and Olivia was the other couple. I guess I can sum my feelings up really quickly. He was an asshole. I'm so happy Olivia won without him. He seems like an asshole. Having said that, seeing his I did not like him at all in the show. Just straight up 100% an asshole. Seeing his real life responses on the reunion, I'm like, I could see how
Yep.
in real life he might be charming if you really knew him, in that in real life he's almost the opposite of Turbo. Turbo, give me all day, every day on my TV. I love him. I love him. Hearts all around. Will, boo, asshole, villain. In real life, I'm sure Will can kick it and is fine and is not a horrible person. And I'm not saying that Turbo's the total
So
opposite, but I can
so
see him being likable
with
in.
all that said, I want to see Will on the next season. I'm ready. I want to see more Will. I think he's great TV because he's just being honest, and people are taking it the wrong way, and sometimes they're
Oh,
taking it the
he's an
right
ass.
way. Sure, but at the same time, when you're in that moment and you want this girl that you're hooking up with, whether it's going to turn into anything or not, to stand up for you and not choose you, and she didn't, and he's a younger guy who can't control his temper. That's just who he is as a person, and yeah, he needs to grow from that, but he's just not at that place in his life yet. He overreacted and he blew up, and he talked about it tonight how he did that. So it is what it
Yes,
is. And they're
that's
fine.
what I'm saying.
And
I don't
Nani and
think
him
he's
talked about it.
truly.
They're both fine with each other. He
That's what
tried
it
to
is.
he tried to hook up with her apparently the night before the reunion. But this is where the storyline I'm confused by. Maybe they'll talk about it in part two. Doesn't he? Isn't this like in social media? Isn't this when he supposedly hooks up with Anissa? And does that get brought? Did that quick? I thought I heard something weird being brought up on part one where they said
So,
something
but they did. It was so sly.
quick.
We didn't know and weren't
Yes.
looking for
If
it. We
we didn't
wouldn't
know,
have
right? Yes.
known. So he talks about trying to hook up with Nani, and
Right.
then Bananas
Right.
says like, "Oh, Nani, Anissa, something of like
Yeah,
that."
there's
And
something like that.
Anissa has a genuine. She's like, "You're a fucking asshole, like not an amused, like, oh, bananas, he. She's like, shut the fuck up,
Well, that
asshole.
was not Nani said
So,
that to him, right? Or
no,
Nisa
and
did? It was so fast. Then it went on next. I was
that
like,
was it.
wait,
And
is
they
that
didn't
in?
address it. So I feel like maybe Bananas was insinuating that after he tried to hook up with Nani, he went and hooked. We know him and Anissa hooked up
It's
after.
so weird that that was such a quick thing. I noticed it too, and I said, "Are they going to talk more about this?" And they never did. And I'm like, "What the hell's going
Maybe
on?"
they will. Maybe that was unrelated,
Yeah,
and
maybe it
but
was
whatever the
unrelated
deal
because
was, it did
at one
happen.
at
You're
one
not-
point during the season, Banana's already gone. Wasn't like Will was doing something with his shirt off, and Anissa was saying, "Oh, that or something," and then Nani said something. They were both there, both admiring him.
Mhm,
I was
mhm.
like, could it be in reference to that? But no, Bananas was already way off the season by then, so it wasn't that. Okay, let's move forward here. Um, they talk about the two staking a claim moments, the Gabe staking a claim and the Jeremy staking a claim. Again, they're just this is just the nothing really more gets said. They just Michaela's upset at Olivia still. I mean, through this moment here,
Well,
which we
they
talked about a
again,
little bit.
this is where I liked Olivia's response, where my overall feeling, not to come down on Michaela, was that the guys, when they're like, "Did you do this?" They're like, "Yeah," and the girls, it's like, "You're a snake. You were plotting."
Right.
It's like she's like, "Well, yeah, I made a game move. Like, yeah, we wanted that to happen." It just again be in her bonnet. It's like, oh, Olivia, like you did the same thing to what's it called and what's it called, Aviv and whatever. Like made a move. Oh, I do again. She has a bee in her bonnet about Theo and Olivia. I don't know why. I don't know why, but
Well,
uh,
I made
it was
the
unreasonable.
joke. I made the joke that she has a crush on Theo and she'll never get Theo, so she's mad at Olivia for that. But she was giving Theo crap all season two. Maybe that's because she realized she can't have him. That's a joke, though. Obviously, I don't really think that's the real reason. I think she has a real issue with them and their alliance. She was on the opposite side of them all season. And some people, it is you just have a problem with someone and you almost can't figure out why that is. Because Olivia, to me, when she's responding to Michaela's stuff she's just being graceful with everything. And obviously winning it also helps. But I'm telling you right now, if this was reversed, there's no way Olivia is going at Michaela the way that Michaela is going at Olivia
Oh,
tonight, with the especially with the side comments. Why is she so upset that Olivia gets is getting more questions? I don't understand why she cares. And like,
I,
so I think she is jealous, and
oh
what
yeah.
did Michaela Olivia called her out and said that she's being a hater. She is in theory to me, that is the definition of being a hater, no?
Literally, she is
So
being a hater. And then Michaela had another snide comment like, well, you want haters so you can be relevant. And Olivia's like, thank you.
okay,
Again,
yeah, that
Olivia,
again, that didn't make sense to me too. Like, okay, but like,
there's,
there's
first
plenty
of
of.
all,
Go ahead. Sorry.
Olivia, I'm sorry. Olivia has gone through, I don't even like Olivia enough to give this big
I
defense of
know.
her. I'll say she
I'm with
went
you.
through the season, a season where she was the villain because she fucked over Nerys and
I know. I didn't like
on
her that
that
season at
side.
all. Yeah.
She's now dating another challenger. She won. It's like she's gonna get attention. This was Olivia's season, literally. She won it.
Yeah.
And was against the whole house. Like that's just the nature of the show.
And here, I'll give you an example, Pam, that you might like. When Nerice's season, right? When she was
Maurice's
Olivia,
season, and
right?
it was Maurice's season.
When they had the reunion, Olivia like they made up at the reunion. Olivia wasn't going after Nerisse. I can't believe you're getting all these questions that I'm the bad person this season. No, she's like, this is what the season was, and so I accept for what it
Well,
is. Michaela did not act that way tonight with Olivia at
going
all.
back to the episode where she was saying he's cheating. Michaela was saying Theo's cheating, and
Sure.
Olivia said, "Excuse you," and she said, "Like fuck you, I'll fight with you." Like she really responded out of pocket. That was a perfect example of it is like I was driving and I'm not a great driver and someone started screaming at me like very impassioned things like I had done something to them and I was like, "Huh, that Olivia just seems
This
like
is a
you."
real story. You're telling me a real
This is a
story
real
now.
story. And
This
they were,
happened to
I
you.
can't even now, it's going to be, they were racial things at me that aren't even I'm like, did they just, I don't know what, but it was like,
See,
you,
right.
like,
So you're comparing that to how Olivia's being like, why are you kind of all over me right
well, Olivia,
now?
my response to that is, oh, stranger yelling at me. That's odd. Like an inordinate response to like, even if I
Yeah.
didn't go right when the light turned red, like, I don't know. It just seems,
Whatever it was. Yeah.
yes.
Um,
Michaela, it does. I know we're joking about the crush on Theo, but honestly, I don't. It seems like a one. I'm not saying that
An
I.
option.
It seems like an option. Like, why are you so mad at them? Him, her, them. It's not because of the way they're playing the game,
Yeah,
because
I agree. Because like it's a game. Like you're really that mad at like they played the game that mad that you can't like now separate yourself from that game move that they made in a reality show and see
yeah,
them as a real human in real life. Like
there's
that's my whole thing. Like
personal beef
if
there.
I'm
There's
playing, so like
personal
I'm
beef.
playing, my cousins and I growing up, we all played Monopoly like every other weekend. We were obsessed with playing Monopoly at least once a month, right? And like they'd make a game move that would pee me off. They wouldn't trade me their properties for my properties,
Right.
and you get mad. But when the game's over, I'm not still thinking, "Oh, I can't believe you didn't give me Park Place for this." Like, who? Like, it's a game. So
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm trying to understand where Michaela's coming from and why she's so upset that they play the game different than she does.
there's definitely
Don't get it.
some sort of overreaction, which we've been watching this for 41 seasons. When people react that
It's a
way, there
lot.
is something personally. I'm just like when Anissa and Ashley had their fight, it got that way because they have a personal history. When Anani and Will had that blow up, it's because they feel betrayed. Like the level of anger she feels towards Olivia just existing and her dislike of it, it's not just because she doesn't like her game moves. Because again, I don't know. I would love to hear Michaela explain why, because it's clearly personal too. I feel like even she would admit it's not just game moves. She doesn't like her. And there's a lot of people that I might not like the way they play the game, but I still like them. Like she's turboing it where like
I'll say this in the challenge reunion history, they've never. I don't feel like they've ever shown when someone gets asked a question, the other person upset that they got asked another question. They might get upset by the response to that question, then there's a fight and whatnot. But I've never been before they even respond to a question. I've never heard someone mad before the response even comes out. I haven't seen it.
right, literally definition of a hater. Yeah, it's interesting, and I thought Olivia kept her composure,
She
whereas I feel
did.
like I would be like, fuck, like I would start losing my mind a little bit.
Right at this
Because
point, yeah, because they've been
Michaela would
dealing
be
with,
like,
and think about it, they've been
oh,
dealing with it. This isn't a one-off. This is the entire season. She's not only hated on Theo, but also her. If someone was, I guess you could say verbally
fuck you,
attacking,
I want to punch you. Like that is
but
what
like if
happened
they were
in the
verbally
episode.
attacking Stacy, if I'm on a season with Stacy and and another contestant is verbally attacking her all season, yeah, I'm gonna have major beef with that person and not be able to
Like,
keep my
really?
composure. Where I know it's different guy versus girl. Like if a guy was saying stuff about Stacy, yeah, I'm gonna have to physically be a little more abrupt with it, where she's more composed. But like
Yeah.
Michaela, when she said she wanted to punch her, is that was
I mean,
it was that I was like, wait, wait, wait,
she
why
said
is it that? Why are
something.
we taking it to that level in
Right.
this
I think she
conversation?
said something like, get out of my face unless you want. She was,
Sure.
it's beyond, I don't like that you're, I don't know. Like
Well,
it's
let's move forward because I'm sure we might get
heated
more in
or
part
just
two here.
game choice.
What did you think of the Smashley section before we get into the final thing here?
100% love.
Yeah, just I mean, I'm kind
That
of
is,
over her. I'd like to see
I'm
her.
not. I wanted more of that. Like the
I'd
way
like to
I'm
see. Well, I'd like
over.
to see her come back and actually back up what she's saying. She loses every. She hasn't won in a long time. I'd like to see her back it up with a win. But
I thought it was great. I totally appreciate she was again.
owning it.
So that was like, yes, and
Yeah.
not just owning it, but being like, I'm a nut, yeah, owning it is exactly it. And being like, I apologize, I get a certain way and I'm wrong, and then that's that. And that's why she's good TV too.
Yep.
It's sincere. I don't think she's fake at all. I think she gets
And I think
quality.
the guys if this was reversed and Ashley was named Adam and he was doing these things to girls, I think it would be a lot harder to spin that. But
Well,
with
it's
the guys like they just don't take it F off. They just don't take it seriously. Like whatever, we're gonna get through this. I don't, and plus they were only most of them were only partners with her 1 week at a time.
and she
You know
was
what I mean?
admittedly horribly awful. No one's going, it's okay. She's allowed. No one's
Right.
defending her behavior,
Exactly.
her included. No one's going, well, she didn't want to say. I mean, she was a maniac to her partners.
That's a fun word
It-
for her.
yeah, I mean, it really was. It's sort of so over the top that it becomes comical, and it doesn't
Mm.
feel like what's she gonna do? Yeah, it's not cool. I'm not saying it's cool, but I'm saying she responded the best way you can. She's not sitting there going like, well, like she did. She was actually funny. She's like, maybe if y'all did better, I wouldn't have had to be that
Right.
way. I
And see,
think she's
that's how she gets away with it because
leaning
it is
in.
comical. The big final thing here is the Turbo versus CT, which we're not going to see the resolve to this until next week. But um, it's hard for me to be on Turbo's side, especially with CT, because I'm just such a huge fan of him and what he has done over the seasons. And like, let's do this. If Turbo's 37, CT's 43, whatever he is, right? They're not that far off in age. My point is, if Turbo was on this show back in the early 2000s, which he could have been when CT was like 23, this guy could have been 20, whatever age gap they are.
Mhm.
You think that Turbo is talking to CT the way that he is now back in the early 2000s? There's just no way in hell that you're coming after CT. This is a different CT now. My point is this is the CT that does not say things like I'm going to smash his head and eat it. So my point is if Turbo comes after him, he's getting swung on back. And you saw the old CT start to come out. And I was loving it because I'm like, enough is enough. Go old school and punch this guy in the freaking mouth. Punch him right in the freaking schnoz, right in the nose, and end this. I'm done with. Look, I get Turbo. Was Turbo trying to make a joke with the BITCH? I don't think he was. I think he was literally trying to call him that and get away with it because Turbo can do whatever he wants, and then he'll just say, "Oh no, it's a mis. I'm just trying to be Turbo." No, f that. I'm over it. CT, take him out. I'm done with it. I'm done.
I disagree. I think Turbo
Okay.
was trying to be funny, and I don't think he
It
succeeded.
did not land at all
It
for me.
didn't land, and CT was like, "Don't, like I'm giving you a break. Like I love,
And then that's where Turbo needs to jump in and say, "Dude, I respect you. You are one of the challenge legends. I'm just joking." But no, I think Turbo really meant it. That's why I don't see it as a joke to me.
I think
Turbo could have put the
Turbo,
flames out because CT wasn't trying to get fired up.
no,
CT
he
would be
wasn't.
like, "Ha ha, very funny. Are we cool?" And Turbo's like, "No, you're a bitch."
But
What the
how
what
much
are
are
we
you supposed
doing
to
here,
take?
dude?
Right. Like how much is CT supposed to sit there and take? I think
I
with
agree.
Turbo,
That's what it is to me.
yes, CT's like, don't push me. Like I'm
Yeah,
letting this roll off, like ha ha ha, but
yeah,
I'm not gonna
ha
sit
ha.
there
And this
and
is where Turbo, you say that you're just joking and he is a legend. But no, you kept doubling and tripling down because you think that he threw a challenge this season and you think he is lazy and he doesn't deserve to be on the show anymore. And some of that is half truths because he is not coming into game shape anymore. But you like, do you realize who you're talking to? The
he doesn't.
dude,
I mean, he
if CT and Bananas and those guys didn't do what they did, this show wouldn't exist, and would not be. You would not have. Turbo won $1 million on this goddamn show because he stepped on the backs of these other guys who made the show last as long as it did. This could have been like what's that dating show that we used to like to watch that does not even on the air anymore?
beat bone and separate. Hook up and
No, 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 no. We love this
one.
show.
Are you
Find
the one?
your perfect match. Perfect match.
Perfect match. Are you the one?
Are you the one? Thank you. You gotta find your perfect match. Are you the one?
Match. Are you the
Are you the
one?
one? It lasted like 5 seasons. It'll never be on the. And again, the challenge has lasted 41 seasons for a reason. It's because of CT and Bananas and Wes and Jordan, and all
Sure.
those guys. And now Turbo is calling one of the guys that got him this job basically because he kept the show running
Yes.
a bitch. I'm done.
It's
I don't
I
care. I'm not
don't
into it.
support Turbo's choices. I really don't. I think that they are bad and wrong and
But
incorrect
the
and not
produce, but
cool.
the produce, y'all, let's blame the produce. The producers put him up. I don't. Do you think Turbo came up with that? I think producers handed him the bitch. Said, "Do you want to do this? We think it'll be funny." Like I don't think he came from wherever he's living now with that all printed out, ready to go. I'm thinking the
He's
producers
being
made it for him. You
encouraged
know?
in his shtick to call people chicken pussies, and it's like it's
Sure.
funny to some extent, and then you have to sort of take off the even Sydney, I will say, which I don't think ever happened, at least that they showed on the show, stopped the like, yeah, well, I'm like the best. Tonight seemed like a regular person. It's like,
Correct.
okay, you can have your shtick,
Sure.
but at the end of the day, we like to feel that there is a real person
Person.
behind the shtick.
Thank you,
And
Pamela.
that's exactly with Turbo. It's like, I do feel like it's come through. I don't know why I'm such a Turbo fan. I feel like we've seen enough of him in these seasons to get that he is coming from a place of humor and he has a big heart. His
not since he
choices
was
are
if
not
he
working. I don't support them, and it's not a good look for him. I will agree with that. I will,
back with him and Turbo and Nani, that was the best Turbo because he was hilarious. He called out people, but then he like truly him and Nani created this bond where he seemed like a real person.
yes.
Who walks around with cards in their pocket calling people bitches? Like that's not a
Oh,
real
it's too
like
much.
I get you're a character on TV. The reunion for me though is the place where yeah, you still cause the drama, but then you either resolve it or you show you're like
Right.
you're a real human being.
Right. Like Will, we cracked that. And my thing is he's an
A little
asshole. Like
bit.
tonight, I was like, he's not just horrible. Uh, Gabe was a jerk. Like, okay,
Right.
feels
Hello. We're like,
bad. There was
okay, we're
things
playing.
behind it. Right. With Turbo, it's like doubling down and doubling down and doubling down. It's like, ooh, it's not great. Even
Well, we'll
Sydney.
see what happens. Maybe he does. Look, we don't know. Maybe he does finally say, "Hey, I'm." But I, when you get Turbo fired up to that level, we literally this is like the fight that they had on 41. It's just a repeat of that. They
Yeah.
neither of them backed down in that fight in the kitchen when he said, I'll come whenever I want to come," or whatever he said,
Yeah. Yeah.
CT,
No,
.
that was
So yeah,
that was good. But yeah,
let's see
everybody,
what comes of
Jeremy.
this. Yes.
Jeremy, I never particularly liked throughout the season. I liked him, his off-camera persona, not his confessionals where he made bad jokes. Like everyone was really likable, so it made Turbo stand out. And Michaela, I liked more than I liked her confessionals, the sort of written things. I did. It's not that I agree with everything she said
Yeah.
at all, but I it made more sense to me where she was coming from tonight. Whereas Turbo, yeah, it's like you're doubling down on something stupid. And it's just
Was D invited because Bananas wanted to have someone to hook up with this weekend? Is that why D was there, by the way? I
yeah.
was thinking that the whole time, like they're sitting next to each other. I believe they were hooking up after the show for a little bit, probably for fun. And like, why is she there? Lekka's not getting any screen time. Jake lasted so long in the season and never got screen time, and they brought him back. I'm like, why? He's not going to bring anything to the show now. He didn't do anything all season, so he's there
Well,
hanging out. You know who I'm surprised didn't get a lot of screen time was Justin. They showed a little bit of him. Maybe he'll get more in part two. They
yes.
only referred to him a few times, but he did get something, like because he
And
had a big part, huh?
Adrienne had no screen time tonight. I mean, a
She had
very
a few things they tried to
few,
get her involved with, but yeah, not too much. But like
not a lot.
she has to like even if she doesn't get screen time on the reunion, she has to be there. She made the final. Like
She's
she
a
has to
very
be there.
big part of the season
Yeah,
and
she has to be
like
there
a
even if she doesn't.
segment
Yeah.
on her and Theo talking about. I mean, I want more. That's like with the recency, I don't care about. I forgot about Gabe, even though he had a big role.
Right, right. You want to
Well,
hear more like,
like I
so
want to
how was it
hear
working
about
with
the
Theo?
final and why they didn't choose to switch. Like I want to know, Sydney, why didn't you decide? We know surface level why she didn't decide to switch, and I just there's things that because of recency we are hotter on our minds that I'd really like to dive into. And of course, we always want the shit they didn't show. We want to
Yeah, I got
know.
a hot take for you. I got a hot take for you. Cedric, big part of the season, obviously made it to the final.
Oh,
I brought this up. I brought this up earlier. I brought this up during the season when he doesn't really have a lot to say. He doesn't have a lot to just like when they asked him the hangnail thing. Like,
he
so
made
why
up.
if
He's
you're
like,
gonna call out Derek C, have something to back it up. Or guess what? Don't say anything at all. That thumper line from Bambi. If you don't
yeah.
have something nice to say, don't say anything. What are we? Or if you
And
have
he
something not nice to say, at
had
least
to give
back it
an
up with something.
answer. But yeah, calling someone out for being fake and then did Derek going, well, when was I fake? And he goes, I don't know, you weren't fake. It's like, okay.
What?
Cedric,
Not a great reality person. What show is he on before this?
I don't know.
I have no
I
idea.
enjoyed him all season because I think he's a really good competitor, but
I
maybe
get
just
yeah,
a
I
nice guy
I
that's
don't think
not
he's
that.
that reality show classic bringing the entertainment value at all, really. I mean, so
I think he was. I'll give him one more. I'll give him one more shot. I
all
don't.
right.
I
I guess I
like
have two
him.
strikes on him only, so I guess in theory. But I don't think, but again, I don't think he's going to be on 42. I don't think he's like a choice that like Cedric was great. Yeah, he made it far, but he didn't really give us anything. So I don't think
No.
he's going to be asked back. By the way, they're still casting that. They're supposed to be shooting it in like 2 months from now. They're thinking that they're going to air this thing maybe in August. I mean, like we're just so you know, after next week, y'all aren't going to see much of us till August apparently, because I don't think there's any other iterations of the challenge, whether that be USA season 3 or an All-Star season, anything in there on the menu until
Mhm.
literally 42. And I've been told, not really, but I've been hearing things like if 42 doesn't hit hard, that they're like, are we going to make a 43? Because apparently, I saw this online, lowest viewership of a final in the last 6 years was season 41.
I like feel like I read that this has been the biggest viewership
But
in
I maybe whatever you've read, but I'm saying viewing the final itself had the lowest
the
viewership.
final itself.
The final itself lowest viewership in the last 6 seasons.
Now, I don't work for Nielsen, the people that do
Oh,
the
you
ratings.
don't?
No,
Oh, okay.
I do not. However, and I'm not just making this up out of my ass. I've heard this said by other TV reviewers and people that do after shows that it is really stupid now to measure the view, especially since MTV, I had to search hell and high water to be able to view this when it
I
comes out.
understand what you're saying because people
But
watch it in
just
different
streaming,
ways.
nobody looks at the things they do. Apparently, the traditional way of measuring viewership is on the
But
broadcasting.
there's no doubt that there's so much for people to watch and stream now and all that stuff that you can't get the ratings you got in the 90s. It doesn't work like that anymore.
No, but
It's not a three network thing, you know?
if there's enough online scuttlebutt about things, they'll be there. If they're relevant, they're relevant because I care about the challenge. Obviously, it pops up to me. So I don't know the real measure of its popularity. I'll do a deep dive later.
All I can talk about is the comments that I see on MTV. Like I follow all the challenge things, and most of them are not great. They're negative. They're saying I haven't watched a show in 10 years. This looks awful, or what is this crap, or who is this, or this looks. I tried to watch it. I got halfway through the season and stopped. Like that's I don't see a lot of people say this was the best thing ever. Like I don't
People are
anymore.
the worst, and
Well, that's
people
not
are the
true.
worst, and people that feel the need to say you suck online to a TV show are the extra worst. I feel
Oh,
like
Pamela, don't think I don't know. I read our comments every week.
the
So
people
I
watching aren't
understand the
getting
people
on
that
going,
like our after
I
show
mean, some
don't
people
jump to
actually,
it.
yeah.
It
And
would
I
be nice if we got there is, I should call it. There's one guy that
do have nice, some people saying
I
thanks.
was gonna say there's one guy, he always says like thank you so much for taking the time for your after show. I should give him a shout out right now. I really should.
Yeah,
Do
you
you know who I'm
should.
talking about? Do you see it in there,
Yeah,
maybe?
no, we read
I
the
can't think
comments
of
and
who
we
it
love
is though.
you. I don't, I'm not, they're not in
If
front
you
of me
leave
right
another
now.
nice comment, he always says like thanks for the recap. That guy, I'll try to respond to that this week because he's always
Yeah, we can
nice.
do that. And I also want to say on that, that is why we like to make a point of saying, like, good casting. There have been shit seasons where we've been like, God, this isn't even fun or good or worth it, the investment. I thought this was a great season. Like,
Oh yeah,
we've
no, it was
been
great.
in
Yeah.
trouble for being negative. I feel like this was much better. They like responded to the, we don't need Amelia or whatever her name is, the alien song girl. Um, the blue girl. Why do I think she's blue? Did she? I feel like an
The
alien.
alien song girl. You dressed up like her for Halloween
Yes.
and I
And
dressed
there's
up as Emmanuel. I dressed up as
Manuel
Emmanuel.
and Manuela or some. Anyway,
Whatever her name was.
that
Yeah.
season there was a lot of reaches. This, it's like you did a good
A lot
job,
of reaches.
producers. There were some innovative challenges. Like I think overall, as a person that's watched them all, this was a highly successful season versus a lot of other seasons. So I would like to
I
say
don't recommend you
more.
going back though and watching an old season because then you're gonna be like, oh,
Oh
but
shit.
what is
Well,
that's it though. But that's what I but wait, there's what is it what is so magical about those older seasons? You can't beat them. They're a joy to watch. I remember back in the day when an episode would be over. They were back in the day, they were only an hour episodes. And I'd be like, I gotta wait 7 more days. I like all week I'd be
I've
thinking about
given
like what
up
is gonna happen
on
on the show.
it's not that show. It's never going to
Not
be that
that
show.
anymore.
Nothing's
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it's not going to be that show. I've mourned that loss. So that to me lives in a different world than the current iteration of the challenge. So for the past decade, I think this was one of the stronger
I'll say in
se-
the past 6 years or 6 seasons,
6 years.
definitely
I
six
agree. Like
seasons,
during
decade.
third,
If you
yes,
go back a
agreed.
decade to 2015, that's when we were covering it over at AfterBuzz, and the show was kick ass. Yeah, 15, 16, 17, 18. We covered it all the way till 2020 when we got, but
Isn't
then we
that
did the show
insane?
Uh, like this over like a Zoom. We ended up doing the show. But that even though then the show wasn't quite as good. But like 2015, 16, 17, 18, those seasons were pretty damn kick ass.
Yeah, no, there were seasons that were like edge of my seat. There were some great seasons. So
Because
this
I
is
remember going into after I remember
drama.
even going into AfterBuzz with you and Jenna and Benny and and
Punk rock, David
David.
Punk rock.
David
Yeah.
Punk Rock Christopher. And like I was so excited to talk about this, like so
This
pumped to
this
watch it.
season is
Yeah.
the first time I've been like pumped
What's
in
that?
a while. This
Oh, this
season.
season, right? Yeah.
I do want to say the point is positivity. Most people don't get on and go, this is good. I liked it. Like it's not that entertaining, but and I guess people do in this day and age, your social media feedback is legitimate to a network that's saying we all don't like blank, but people are the worst in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
So
but
I
a
feel
lot of the comments I see are things that we've had concerns about and issues with too, and they are attempting to try to fix some of it. They're never going to go all the way, but they are trying to do some of these. That's good.
I think they course corrected in this. That's what I'm saying. I'd like to give them their props where it's like, yeah, there was a course correction in casting and in stuff this season. So
Yep,
there's always room for improvement, but overall feel super positive about it.
yep.
It's not your mama's challenge, your
Is
grandma's
not.
challenge, but it's good for what it is. This was good.
All right, well, next week got part two. We'll see the resolve between Turbo and CT. We'll see y'all then for episode 21. And I'm pretty sure at that point we will have a little bit of a
Can I
break.
say
So there you
one
go.
final thing when we say goodbye? I
Of
put this
course.
on special because I learned from the reunion. This is how I learned about fashion, that layered gold jewelry is in style. So I have a smaller one here,
Oh,
but
I see
everyone
that.
had their gold, like many layered, so, and I loved it. So I'm gonna
You're wearing this was your ode to
emulate
the
style.
reunion. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
there.
I'll have to take a bigger look at that tomorrow. They'll all be in the same outfits next week,
That was
obviously. So I'll double check the double gold jewelry there. All right. See y'all next week. Bye.